Last year, 50% of shareholders called on Woodside to disclose emission reduction targets and capital expenditure plans in line with the Paris climate goals. Our current 2025 and 2030 emissions targets are consistent with around 3 degrees of global warming, and by excluding Scope 3 emissions, only address 10% of our total carbon footprint. On the CAPEX side, we're aiming to spend over $21 billion to increase production by 70% by 2028, when climate science tells us gas production must fall significantly over that period if we are to meet the Paris goals. So my question is, how have institutional investors responded to Woodside's failure to come anywhere near meeting the demands made by more than 50% of shareholders last year? And what retaliatory actions have investors informed Woodside of, such as votes against remuneration, the election of directors or divestment?
So it's up to shareholders if they want to divest at any point in time. That's the option shareholders have. In terms of other retaliatory, one of our shareholders did express to us concern that we hadn't done enough in terms of articulating a strategy on Scope 3 emissions, and that would cause them to vote against the re-election of one director, which they've done this meeting. That's the only thing I'm aware of. But I would want to say this. We, as I said during my speech, we now report in accordance with the TCFD requirements. We have put the 2 Paris scenarios in our annual report, if people would like to read those. We believe, absent a significant transaction, that our emissions will reduce. Our net emissions, Scope 1 and 2 net emissions, will reduce from here, and our forecasts include, future forecasts include the Scarborough development, and 15% by 2025 and 30% by 2030 are, I think, fairly significant reductions. Importantly, on Scope 3, the countries where LNG is exported to and the customers that take our LNG are also committed to net zero by 2050. So, as I said, we'll do some work on the Scope 3 side of things to inform shareholders more by this time next year, and we'll also give shareholders an opportunity to vote on our climate reporting next year. But those customers and those countries are also committed to net zero by 2050. The point I'd want all shareholders to understand is we think Woodside prospers in a lower carbon world. We absolutely agree and support the science, and we want to be part of a lower carbon world.